Yesterday, I was at Dodd Camera here in Chicago, Illinois, when I overheard a couple debating over what camera to buy. They were debating between the Panasonic GH6 and the Sony A7IV. Well, it just so happens that I have both of these cameras right here with me. So when I overheard this couple going back and forth, should we get the GH6 or the Sony A7IV? My first reaction was, that's actually the wrong question to be asking, or it's the wrong two cameras to be comparing. I feel like they should have really been comparing the Sony A7IV and the Panasonic S5. The reason I think that the Panasonic S5 is really the camera that should be compared to the A7IV is that they're sort of more similar cameras. They're more hybrid cameras that do both photo and video, have full frame sensors, and are in the same price range, I think. I believe the Panasonic S5 is $2,000 and the A7IV is $2,500. Also $2,000 is the Panasonic GH6, or at least it's $2,000 right now. It's on sale. I think the normal price is $2,200. So I think that's why this couple was thinking about the A7IV versus the GH6. It's the newer camera. They're in the same price bracket, and there's lots of YouTube videos and articles about how good the GH6 is for video. It has a real cinematic look, and that's true. And I think that's sort of the answer between the two cameras. The GH6 has really beautiful cinematic colors. The image that comes out of it is really nice as long as the scene is well lit. If it's not, this camera struggles a little bit, I think, by virtue largely of the micro four thirds sensor. The new dynamic range boost feature does help, but it limits certain codecs you can use, and you have to go into the menu system to switch it. That's a little bit annoying, not a huge deal, but a little bit annoying. But ultimately, you know, the GH6 is really a camera that you're going to use when you're behind the camera. The autofocus is not good at all still. I don't care what anyone says. Panasonic, you just need to get phase detect autofocus. But when you're behind the camera, the image that comes out of there, especially from a well-lit scene, is really beautiful, hard to beat. It is very cinematic, very Hollywood flavored, great picture quality, great camera, wonderful lenses. The Panasonic Leica Micro Four Thirds lenses are fantastic. Oh, and this camera's got a fan and the mother of all flippy screens. It comes out, and then it also is a full-on flippy screen. So that makes me really happy. Look at that reflection, look at that beautiful art. Another thing that really needs to be said about the GH6 is that it has a ton of video features that are candidly probably above my pay grade, like anamorphic D-squeeze, and the ability to put LUTs in the camera over the flat profile so you can see that in camera in real time. On the other hand, the Sony A7IV has very nice image quality. You get all the benefits of a full frame sensor. But if I'm being honest, it's a little less cinematic. It's a little more digital, sharpened looking. There's fewer codecs to work with. You can't do ProRes internally like you can with the GH6. I'm not a huge video person, so I'm sure there's other things in those codecs that the Sony is missing just based on the number of codecs in the camera. The Sony A7IV doesn't have as many video-specific capture tools. Unlike the GH6, it doesn't have waveforms. So I think that Sony could learn a lot from Panasonic in terms of software features, things like the waveforms, all the codecs. Huge benefit the Sony has over the Panasonic GH6 is the autofocus. Where the GH6's autofocus is just straight up trash, the Sony A7IV's autofocus, especially in video, is like magic. It's just sticky. It grabs onto your eye and it just stays there. You can move around, and I'll put some video up here so you can see the difference. As you can see, the GH6 focus still struggling, goes in and out, misses focus. It's just really problematic. On the other hand, the A7IV, boom, sticking to me, is doing a little bit better in low light. Also, you know, one thing that not a lot of people talk about, but I love about the Sony cameras that is great for my workflow, is that you can plug the camera into USB-C, hit a button, and then the memory cards show up as hard drives on your desktop. So you never have to take memory cards in and out of the camera and fiddle with them. It's almost like having a big hard drive connected to the computer. As far as I know, the Panasonic GH6 does not do that, nor does any other camera maker's cameras do that. I'm almost positive Canon, Fuji, Nikon, and Leica all don't do that. I don't think Hasselblad does it either, although I do wonder with the X2D if that will change. In conclusion, I think this is actually really simple, and this is what I told that couple at Dodd Camera that I saw yesterday. If you're going to be behind the camera on studio sets, you're a film student, you're making movies, you have control of the situation, the GH6 is the way to go. It has way more film-centric features, including anamorphic D-squeeze, waveforms, a special audio monitoring tool, just a lot of stuff that's really great for filmmaking. However, if you're a hybrid shooter that's going to film yourself, this is not really the camera for you. This is not really a YouTuber's camera, unless the YouTuber is filming B-roll, I guess. On the other hand, the Sony A7IV is really just about the autofocus. If you're going to film yourself, like for these YouTube videos, the focus is so much better. It just makes things so easy that that's the way to go. So ultimately, for me, the GH6 is going back to B&H, and the Sony A7IV that I actually bought at Dodd Camera once upon a time will continue to be the camera that I use to film these videos, except for this one, of course, which I'm filming on my iPhone, so you can see the two cameras while I have them here with me. So I hope that little summary, quick, camera comparison battle is helpful to you. What do you think about these two cameras? Which one would you buy? If you were making YouTube videos like this, which one would you use? Are you making short films? Are you a film student and the GH6 is the better camera? Tell me why in the comments. And then, of course, like, subscribe, comment, blah, 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 all that stuff, yada, 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 and see you in the next one. Bye.